Hello and welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today we are starting something special for a special time of year and just special everything. I'm so excited. Today we are starting our series of NFL game picks, baby. Week one, we are so back. It is football season. The NFL kicks off tomorrow. Baltimore at Kansas City, AFC Championship rematch. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Um we've been waiting since Kansas City beat San Francisco. We've been waiting for this day through March, through April, through every single month. But it is finally here. And I know I look like a ghost right now. It is because it is so dark. And I'm looking at a very white screen, so I look like a literal ghost and you could barely see me right now, but that's besides the point. We are picking games, baby, and doing some power rankings later. I'm just gonna display my power rankings I put together for week one. I'm so excited. But let's get right into it with the Thursday night football kickoff game where the Baltimore Ravens are going back to Arrowhead Stadium. We're not going back, but they are playing a AFC Championship rematch versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And Lamar Jackson now has Derrick Henry in the backfield. And he is looking for vengeance against the team that beat him in the AFC title game. As for the Chiefs, they brought in Xavier Worthy making his debut. Hollywood Brown will be out for this game. Um, but yes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions, at home banner night, Thursday night football versus the Ravens. And this is one of the best games of the year, and we have it for opening night. My pick for this game, I will be going with the favorite, with the defending champs. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm taking KC. Um, I think that they are the defending champs, banner night. I usually always pick the defending champs on banner night. I picked the Chiefs last year against Detroit. I picked the Rams in 2022 over Buffalo. It's usually a thing I do on opening night. I usually always pick the banner team and the team that is the reigning champs. So, yeah, my pick, I'm taking Kansas City to beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And then on Friday, we have Green Bay versus Philadelphia, Jordan Love versus Jalen Hurts. And it is in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's an international game. I do think that this will be a little bit of a weird game. And if you saw my predictions on Monday, this is my NFC Championship game right here, Green Bay, Philadelphia. There's been a lot of rumors about like crime in Brazil and are the teams safe, stay in the hotels, but I don't really know about all that. Apparently Twitter got blocked and everything in Brazil, so you can't tweet about the game if you're in Brazil. I don't know what's going on. But Green Bay, Philadelphia, in Brazil, Love, Hurts, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game nonetheless. The Green Bay Packers went all the way to the divisional round last year after having a meh season overall, and Philadelphia had a big fall off and lost in the wild card round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But in this sense, I will be taking Philadelphia to start the season off hotter than the Green Bay Packers. These will be two completely different teams by the time January. Oh, I think I did the wrong color there. By the time January um comes around, these will be two completely different teams meeting in my NFC Championship prediction. But right now, I'm taking Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. And then we go to the 1 o'clock games. We have Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Russell Wilson with his new team, Kirk Cousins with his new team, Tomlin, Raheem Morris. We have these two meeting up. This is the marquee premier Fox 1 o'clock game. And in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh debut. I think Kirk Cousins was on an absolute tear in Minnesota before the Achilles tear last year, and he was on a run. He was on a run. He was playing so well. He was honestly like people don't really talk about this, but he was an MVP candidate in the first few weeks he was playing in Brazil. I mean, in Brazil, I'm thinking about the in Minnesota, but I am going to be taking the Atlanta Falcons here against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that they will come out the season hotter. Raheem Morris wins his first game as an NFL head coach. Well, I guess not because he did head coach back in the day. I think he was a Buccaneers head coach. But as an Atlanta Falcons head coach, it will be his first win, and I think the favorite Falcons are the winners here at home. And then we go to I think could be a sneaky close game. We have Kyler Murray and Josh Allen meeting in Orchard Park in Highmark Stadium, Buffalo. I'm going to keep this one straight. I think this could be a very sneaky game. I think the Cardinals could sneak up on Buffalo, but that does not change the fact that I am going to be taking the Bills in this game. Josh Allen at home to start the week, to start the season. I think that he has something to prove. Stephon Diggs is obviously now gone. That Cardinals defense is very shaky. This should be a very good game for Josh Allen, but knowing Josh Allen, you never know. He could throw 2 or 3 picks. But this should be a smooth game for him, a weak Cardinals defense. The Cardinals offense could surprise some people though. They have some playmakers on the squad, and I think that Buffalo will take care of business at home, but I could see the Cardinals offense sneaking up and competing with the Bills. And then we go to Soldier Field for the Titans and the Bears. A sneaky good game. Another sneaky good game. The Tennessee Titans have Will Levis, obviously. Calvin Ridley's there now. Tony Pollard's there now. Brian Callahan, new head coach. Jamal Adams they brought in. Quandre Diggs got brought in. L'Jarius Sneed brought in. T'Vondre Sweat brought in. Sebastian Joseph Day brought in. Kenneth Murray brought in. Like, they brought in a lot. They brought in a lot of talent. Tyler Boyd, like, they brought in a lot. I am a believer in the Titans to make some noise. I think they'll keep it close with some of these top teams. I think they'll be competitive in a lot of these games. I am a believer in Will Levis. I am a believer in Brian Callahan at head coach. I am a believer in Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears as a running back duo. I am a believer in that receiving core. The only thing I'm really not a believer in is that offensive line. Peter Skoronski in year 2 will probably take a jump, but the offensive line is shaky. As for Chicago, Caleb Williams, first start, and I think he shows out, and I think he has a solid game, and I think he leads the Chicago Bears to a win at home in a game they really should be winning, and there should be no doubt about it. Um, to the Bears fans, there should be absolutely no doubt in their minds that they win this game, but I think Tennessee could make some noise. I will take Chicago for probably about a score or two in a 7 or 14 point game. And then we have Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots versus my Cincinnati Bengals. You guys know what I'm taking here. I'm taking the Bengals. I am taking the Bengals. I know I've picked all home teams so far. It's boring, but I am going to take the Bengals to win this game. I think that there's no reason we should lose this game. I know we've started off slow in years past. Burrow now off the wrist injury. Obviously, Chase reported to practice today. He is on track to be out there Sunday. T. Higgins signed the franchise tender. Zach Moss in town now. Chase Brown back for year 2. Andre Yosivach, wide receiver 3 season. Jermaine Burton. Trent Brown now there at offensive at right tackle. There is no reason we should be losing this game at all to a weak Patriots team in a rebuild. Gerard Mayo, first game without Belichick in 20 years, like a little over 20 years. No reason this game should be a loss. Jacoby Brissett did not look very good in the snaps he got in the preseason. Drake May looked better. I personally think they should have started Drake May, but they opted for the veteran Brissett, and I'm taking my Bengals in a landslide. And this, this is going to be my lock of the week. Cincy over New England. My lock of the week in week 1. I'm going to bold and italic that out. Cincy over New England. That is my lock of the week in week 1. That is my lock. I'm picking my boys to lock this week. And yeah. Then we got a solid game. A week 18 rematch. Stroud, Richardson, 2 solid AFC South teams. If you asked most people, I think they tell you that in their opinion, these are the 2 best teams in the AFC South. Not in my opinion, but in most people's opinions. Texans Colts. Always a nice rivalry. Now it's Stroud and Richardson. Used to be Luck and Watson and Osweiler and all that, but this will be a good game. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. This will be a really good game in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. This will be a really good game. Year two, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, year two, but he only played like 4 or 5 games in his rookie year and was dealing with injuries a lot. So this will be interesting. Jonathan Taylor returning now. Joe Mixon in Houston now. Stephon Diggs in Houston now. Indianapolis added Adonai Mitchell. They added Laiatu Latu. Like they got some playmakers over there too. And I will be going with the Colts at home. I'm sticking with the home trend. I do not know if the Colts are favored. They might be at home in this case. I'm not sure if they're favored, but I am taking the Colts at home. I think they will win this game. I think it'll be a very close game, though. I think it'll be a very, very close game. As if you guys saw my predictions, I have the Houston Texans missing the playoffs. That is a very hot take to a lot of people. I think they got really good playmakers. Danielle Hunter's obviously there now with Will Anderson, nasty duo. But I think they're getting just a little bit overhyped, and I will take the Colts at home to start off the season 1-0. And then we have another really good game, in my opinion. Jaguars, Dolphins. This right here was my toss up of the week, in my opinion. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, obviously Gabe Davis there now, Brian Thomas Jr., lost Calvin Ridley. The Dolphins, obviously Tua, Tyreek Hill, like Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Achan, Jalen Wright added from Tennessee. The defense is a little bit shaky at times. Xavier Howard no longer there, but he wouldn't really look good in his final year anyway. But this was my toss for the week. Like these two teams, I was going back and forth who I wanted here, but something just told me I had the Jaguars for months. Like when I was going over week one picks for months, I had the Jaguars, Jaguars, Jaguars. But something just told me like the September Miami Dolphins in the hot weather at home. Like why would I pick against the Miami Dolphins at home in September? In Tua in September, Tyreek Hill in September. Why would I pick against them? Why would I? There's no reason to pick against them. There is no reason to pick against the September Miami Dolphins. I do a Florida battle here. I do like the Jaguars this season. They are my AFC South champion, but I haven't started the season 0-1. The September Miami Dolphins to me are just unstoppable. After Thanksgiving, it usually all goes downhill. That's the trend that's been in the past few years. But I will be taking the Dolphins week one. Coming up next, a meh, kind of boring NFC South game, but Carolina, New Orleans. Um, in this game, I actually really do like Carolina. Like, I do like Carolina. I could see Carolina upsetting on the road. Like, and everyone's down on them this year. Year two, Bryce Young. Who's to say year two, Bryce Young doesn't take a massive leap? Who's to say? Who's to say Dave Canales doesn't turn around the team? Like, they got some playmakers. Deontay Johnson over there now. Xavier Legette in year one. Like, dude, the kid. What's it called? Um, the kid, the running back they got on PUP. Why am I blanking on his name? Why am I blanking on the running back they got's name? Hold on, I got him on my fantasy team. Why am I blanking on his name? Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks from Texas. I was blanking on his name. I don't know why. Obviously on PUP for the first 4 weeks, eligible to return week 5. But when he gets back, I think he's gonna be an absolute monster. And I could see him tearing up the league when he gets back. He's him and Chuba Hubbard are a duo, but I think Jonathan Brooks really has the workload when he gets back, and I think he is their running back in the future. I think they have some playmakers. I really do. I really do. But I will take the Saints at home. More experience in week one. I am not a believer in Derek Carr anymore. I actually had the Saints win the division last year, believe it or not. I had the Saints win in the NFC South last season, and obviously that did not come to fruition. But I'm going to take the Saints week one. A little bit of a boring game. All home teams so far. Right here, Vikings Giants. This is where it changes. I'm taking the Vikings on the road. This will be another like pretty close to tested game. I think Sam Darnold, obviously the quarterback right there right now. JJ McCarthy being out for the year, the meniscus injury, and I think that I think that McCarthy. I don't know if he would have started week one anyway. I think they might have opted with Darnold anyway, but Darnold being the starter for the whole season hurts him a little bit. Obviously, the nasty receiver duo with Jefferson and Addison Addison had some legal trouble. He's probably not going to get suspended. We're a few days away. He's not going to get suspended. But Jefferson, Addison, obviously Aaron Jones on the squad now. They got some playmakers on offense. That's the reason why I'm really taking them in this game. Obviously, the Giants, Daniel Jones returning from the ACL tear, Malik Neighbors in year one, Jalen Hyatt. If those two guys progress and become good players, Malik Neighbors and Jalen Hyatt can be a good receiver duo in the future. Darren Waller retired. But I have the Vikings here. I have the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell. I am a Kevin O'Connell believer. I think he's a really good head coach, and I think that the Vikings are always going to be an average, solid team when he's the head coach, even if they have a guy like Sam Darnold at quarterback. And I don't hate Sam Darnold either. I think he's a solid backup quarterback. I think I showed some flashes in Carolina and San Francisco, but he's not a starter. That's the bottom line. He's not a starter, and I'm taking the Vikings. Then we have the number one CBS game right here. The number one game on CBS this weekend, we have Raiders Chargers. Jim Harbaugh coaching his first game with the Chargers. Antonio Pierce, technically coaching his first game as a head coach with the Raiders. Everyone's bought into Antonio Pierce in that building. Everyone. Gardner Minshew named the starting quarterback over Aiden O'Connell, I think was the right choice. Neither of them are really starters in my eyes. Gardner Minshew can make plays, but he is a really good backup in my eyes, not really a starter. And the Chargers. Justin Herbert, obviously healthy, had the foot injury for a little while, lost Mike Williams, lost Keenan Allen, but obviously brought in new guys like Brendan Rice, Lad McConkey, Josh Palmer's still there, solid player. DJ Chark's there now. Like they got some solid players, but I think that the Raiders have more playmakers. I do. I think the Raiders have more playmakers. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Zamir White in year one as a starter. Who knows what he can do? He's got the workload. I'm not a believer in Alexander Madison. I don't think he's that good. Everyone was bought into him last year, and he just absolutely was a bust in fantasy. But Max Crosby, obviously on the defense, Christian Wilkins brought in. Like they got some good players, and I will be taking the Raiders. I'm taking another road team, two straight road teams after a run of home teams, and I am taking the Raiders in this game to win in in Los Angeles. I think it's Devontae Adams. This is Devontae Adams' 100-yard game right here. The Chargers always talk about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams always backs it up against the Chargers. He's absolutely owned them since he's been with Vegas. Now I'm taking the Raiders. Okay, next. A little bit of a boring game, but Bo Nix' first start versus Geno Smith and Mike McDonald as his first game at head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Sean Payton with Bo Nix now. Bo Nix named the starter. Right decision in my eyes, and no reason to start Zach Wilson or Jarrett Stidham. But the Broncos, overall, not a team expected to do anything. Bottom of the barrel expected. Yeah, Seahawks, supposedly an average team. They have Geno Smith. They have some playmakers with Metcalf, JSN, and Lockett. Like they got some Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. They got Uchenna Nwosu is out the first few weeks of the season, but that can be worked around. But in this game, I'm taking the Denver Broncos. Three straight road teams in this, and I am taking the Denver Broncos on the road in this. Seattle is favored by 6. I did check this out. This is my upset of the week right here. My upset of the week. Hold on, let me pull italic. Upset of the week. Denver Broncos to do it over the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's favored by -6 per ESPN bet. And I think the Denver Broncos are going to do it in this game. I have a feeling Bo Nix going to show out, play solid, be a good game manager in game one. I think they get the win. I think they do. Next, Tom Brady's first game as an announcer. We have Dallas and Cleveland. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Everyone knows I'm a Browns hater because I'm a Bengals fan, but I will be taking the Cowboys. Um, Tom Brady's first game as an announcer, as I said, obviously Dallas, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb's got a big payday. Micah Parsons looking for a payday. Still has 2 years left on the deal, but he's looking for a payday. They got bounced in the playoffs by Green Bay last season. Heartbreak to end the year. But they're always a national team. They'll always be talked about no matter how good or bad they are. Cleveland, no Nick Chubb for the first 4 weeks. It's Jerome Ford's backfield. Deshaun Watson returning from the injury is a full go. But I have Dallas nonetheless. I think Cleveland will be a good team. I think the defense will regress a little bit. Jim Schwartz was absolutely out of his mind with that defense last year, but I am taking Dallas. Washington, Tampa. Not many words said here. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I think it's just a home game. Jaden Daniels first star will have some ups, will have some downs. I think Tampa Bay, Rashad White, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Kate Otten. They got playmakers. I think Tampa Bay just they win and they cover at home. Just they just take care of business. Baker proved all the doubters wrong last year, and I think he does it again. I don't think they'll win the division, but I think they'll be a solid not bottom of the barrel, middle of the barrel team, and I think they win this game at home, take care of business week one. They shouldn't be a doubt about it. Jaden Daniels will get better as the season goes on. And then we have Sunday Night Football. We have the rematch. Stafford going back to Detroit for the second time in a row. We have the rematch of the wild card game, the best wild card game last year, matter of fact. And no more Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is gone. No more of that guy. That guy haunts me every single day. But no more of Aaron Donald. Stafford obviously going back to Detroit. Goff versus his old team. That's a storyline. But I guess this was a perfect Sunday Night Football game to go to Week One. Detroit, they did nothing but add. They added DJ Reader. They didn't really lose much. They added Marcus Davenport, Jameer Gibbs, and David Montgomery still sealing the backfield together. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, wide receiver three, I guess is a question. Josh Reynolds left off to Denver, and Khalif Raymond still there, but meh. Wide receiver three definitely is a question, no doubt about it. But I am taking Detroit to win at home here. I think that Los Angeles will obviously still be a solid team, but I think Detroit has Super Bowl aspirations. Dan Campbell wants to hit the ground running to start the year, and Dan Campbell has no doubts. Dan Campbell balls to the wall in this game, and he's just going for it. Like Dan Campbell, that guy Dan Campbell. I think I think Detroit starts the season. They start the season firing. They get it done, and they beat the Rams at home week one. Goff wins again. And to finish off the weekend, we have Aaron Rodgers returning for his fifth snap with the Jets. I think he played four last year, right? Four, maybe three. Or maybe he got hurt on the fourth. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers returning to go play San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey, going to be healthy, going to be ready for the game. Had a calf strain. He'll be ready. Trent Williams got the payday. He'll be ready. Brandon Ayuk saga is over. He is back. He'll be ready. And everyone will be ready. Brock Purdy, the gang's back together. Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams. The gang's back. They're back. And the defense, Nick Bosa, obviously. Leonard Floyd's there now. Diamador Lenore, Charvarius Ward. Like, they got playmakers. I don't think they'll regress one bit in my predictions. I have them as the one. I think I have them as the 1 or 2 seed in the NFC in my predictions. But I'm taking them to win this game. I don't think they'll regress one bit. I think they'll want revenge for that Super Bowl loss last season. They won't miss a beat. When Purdy has to get paid, things will get rocky and they'll have to lay some guys off. Maybe they trade Deebo Samuel. Who knows? But I don't think they'll miss a beat. The Jets, I think they'll be a solid football team this season. I'm not taking away from that at all. I think they'll be a really solid football team. But week one in Santa Clara in Levi Stadium, I cannot on prime time. I cannot first game for both these teams. I cannot bet against Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers to get it done. The first game off of the Super Bowl loss. And that is it for week one picks. That is it for week one picks. We are now going to go over to the power ranking segment of this video. I'm going to show you guys and just go a quick recap over my power rankings real quick. And here is a quick look at my week one power rankings going into the year. I'm so excited to do this stuff again. Obviously, I have the Chiefs at 1, Niners 2, Ravens 3, Lions 4, Texans 5. I think that's a consensus, straightforward among the like NFL fans and analysts. I think that's like their consensus top 5. Packers, Bengals, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins. I think this is like a good top 10. I was thinking of putting my boys over the Packers because I think the sky's the limit for the Bengals. I mean, like if it was my idea, I'd put them one, but but the sky's the limit for these guys. I mean, I'm so excited about the season, man. I think we're gonna do I think we're gonna do well. I mean, there's some bad juju going on. Obviously, the Chase contract and the Trey Hendrickson trade request that went over this offseason, the T. Higgins saga, losing DJ Reader, losing Tyler Boyd and Nixon after all these years. It was sad, but I'm happy about us, man. And Cowboys, Jets, Browns, Rams, Steelers. Those teams were all like on the same tier. Bears, I guess you could add on that tier. Colts, Falcons, Bucks. Jags were pretty low for me, but I think the consensus around the NFL would that put the Jags at 20. After that, Chargers, Seahawks, Vikings, Raiders, Saints, Cardinals. I mean, those teams around that area and the bottom of the barrel, I think a consensus around the league would probably be Titans, Commanders, Broncos, Giants, Patriots, Panthers. I will go over power rankings like this every single week during the season, and I will go 1 through 32. Obviously, under the last week tab, it says NA for all of them because we didn't have a week last week. This is week one right here, baby. Let's go. We are so back. I am so excited to watch football tomorrow. And yeah, these are my 1 through 32 week one power rankings. And football, football, as Scott Hansen says. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider giving a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you enjoy. I'm pick on this. We're gonna do weekly pick'ems every single week with some other videos sprinkled in there if I have time. I have a busy schedule during the week, obviously. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Have a good night and football.